Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi barakatuh, everybody. I'm Preacher Moss, host of the SOS to Shout Out Show. I hope everybody's having a great day today, a wonderful Tuesday, if you will. I'm having one, and hopefully we can extend it during this broadcast on this platform. You know, I want to welcome everybody who's coming early, late, and we have a great topic today. So what I want to do is I want to go through my normal stuff. That's right. We're going to be talking about speaking on cryptocurrency and its potential. I know a lot of people know about Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all these different type of Bitcoins. That's fine, but I really want to talk about the potential, particularly with African Americans, people of color, Latino, the underserved, the underemployed, and of course, the poor. And what this actually represents in terms of opportunities for folks that normally don't get these opportunities. And I'm not talking stimulus checks for $1,400. I'm talking about being a part of a movement and a wave, brothers and sisters, that allow you to think differently about your own financial and social mobility. I'm talking about in a very big way. When I say in a very, very big way, I'm saying, something that's revolutionary. And that is the ability to move from being dictated what cost is to the ability to assess value. Now, before we get into that, I want to give a shout out to anybody who's coming on the Shout Out Show for the first time. We appreciate you. Simple rules, brothers and sisters. Simple rules. If you enjoy something, you like something, give us a shout out. Get in the comment section and let us know. We encourage you not to be wallflowers. Like for today's topic, you can't be a wallflower. I want to get your opinions, your thoughts, and your perspectives. The other thing is, you know what? While I am the host, this platform is a community platform, meaning that we are inviting you in to speak about aspects of community, speak about aspects of social advocacy, things that you feel are important. I want you to know you're not just among friends, you're among family. And I want you to be a part of this because this is an eclectic group of people. When I say eclectic, I don't throw that out lightly. I mean, people are coming from different backgrounds, different ideologies, different religions. We have a group of people. It's a melting pot of just intellectual uniqueness, if you will. That's what I'm calling it, a melting pot of intellectual uniqueness. And we have it here today, and we have topics that we're going to jump on today. So first off, I want to introduce our shout-out family. First off, we got Sister Ree, who's coming out all the way in. Sister Ree is Craft Services. Sister Ree, I couldn't get there today just because I owe you some dishes I got to get back to you. But I had to do this voiceover work. So please forgive me, and we'll work it out tomorrow. I want to also give a shout out to my brother Derek, her husband, always doing great stuff. Derek, appreciate you, man. I want to give a shout out to my main man out of Toronto, Altaf Rashid, who tunes in religiously. I'd say my man from Toronto, he's always on time. We don't need to worry about flights. We don't need to worry about border control. We need to worry about any of that. Altaf Rashid is in the house. Appreciate you. Aika is coming all the way from Indonesia, and she's just getting up off that prayer mat. Making dua for all of us, I would like to believe. And Sister, we're making dua for you and your family. Thank you for being such an integral part of the Shadow Show. And here's my little brother, Johnny Thomas, JT for me, Johnny L. Thomas for you. And this is the brother I'm trying to grow up and be just like this man right here. He's a dynamic young man, dynamic father, dynamic son, dynamic husband. And he's a dynamic brother. I'm just trying to stay close to him. You know how when you get old, you look at your little brother and say, man, he killing me. I'm just trying to stay close. JT, thank you so much for coming on the show. And I also want to shout out Sister Satana Woodfield, who is working the back end of the show today. Look at me, brothers and sisters. No hands, no buttons today. She is running the back end, and we are proud of her because she has gotten in and engaged and just getting better and better and better. I love it. Like I said, the Shout Out Show is going to get better. As we move towards Ramadan, you're going to see some things improve in leaps and bounds in regards to this show. Because, of course, we're bringing back the Preacher Moss Ramadan 30 for 30. That's right, you heard it, the Preacher Moss Ramadan 30 for 30. We're going to go hard 30 days, 30 nights during the month of Ramadan. We hope to have a host of guests, perspectives, reflections. We're going to go all out. We're going to make this thing a portal for people to enjoy and engage Ramadan outside of just fasting, outside of giving your zakat. This is the place where we're going to increase the ideology of community. So I got that out of the way. So I want to speak on this, brothers and sisters. Our topic today It's cryptocurrency and its potential. Cryptocurrency and its potential. Now, I'm going to be right up front with you. I was not a big supporter of Bitcoin when it first came out, and the reason was because I didn't really know about it. Bitcoin was amongst gamers. That's how gamers paid each other with Bitcoin. And there was a time, brothers and sisters, where you couldn't give a Bitcoin away. You couldn't give it away. But then that time changed. Around the housing crisis, the idea of new currency away from fiat currency emerged. And I said something, and I appreciate people who reminded me. It's like, my teacher, Imam Muhammad, said, and I repeat, if you don't like the way people treat you, change the way you think. Somebody did that with currency, and they created a Bitcoin, a coin away from the fiat currency, because everyone knows fiat currency. It is, if I have $1, I could take it all the way to Nevada, it's still going to be worth $1. I can take it down the street, it's going to be worth $1. But the Bitcoin reacts to the market. The Bitcoin reacts to the market, the demand, the scarcity, and therefore it began to accrue value. Now, the thing I talk about scarcity is that there's no more Bitcoins being made. They're just being traded. I think Bitcoin was trading above $60,000 this weekend. So imagine if you had 20 Bitcoins. You're probably not watching the Shadow Show. But it goes to something that I want to speak about, and it's the potential. A good friend of mine, Nuri Amir, framed for me what the Bitcoin really was for people like ourselves. I say people like ourselves, we may not be rich, wealthy, we got good heads on our shoulders. I'm not talking about going to school, I'm talking about good common sense. But the Bitcoin represents something I've been dying to have all my life. Not just for myself, but for my brothers and my sisters, the ones that struggle. Bitcoin represents the democratization of currency. The democratization of currency. What I mean is that the Bitcoin responds to the market. So on a Tuesday, it could be worth $1, but on a Wednesday, it could be worth $10. And the worst case scenario with Bitcoin is, hey, the worst it could be worth is $1. But look at the potential for that coin. Now, I'll break this down before Bitcoin. One of the things that people never really didn't talk about, particularly in minority spaces of color, if you will, is that in many regards we have been given an orientation to finance and economics that we don't really understand how deep it is. That entrance or that introduction to finance is interesting because for African Americans for a lot of years, and I'm going to give credit to my ancestors that were slaves who struggled with this and didn't mentally break. African Americans, slaves, were introduced to a society that only taught them the cost of something but never value. It taught them the cost or told them the cost of something but never educated them on value. And what does that mean? Imagine you're at a slave auction. Someone buys a slave. Well, that auctioneer is trying to get as much money for that slave as he can, not because they know the value, but they know it has value. And so they're consumed with the cost. You must pay this to get this asset. The person that purchases the asset goes, I'm paying this because I see value in the asset. Well, in the orientation, African Americans and Latinos and Native Americans particularly with attention Native Americans, we were never taught the idea of value. We were redirected what value was. There's a great book called The Value of Zero. And what they did was actually do these assessments, reports of what something actually costs. All of us like rice. Not all of us, but think about a ball of rice. We get a bag of Big Ben's rice and da-da-da-da, and we put it in our food, or what are we going to, red beans and rice. We never suffer the full cost of of what it really costs to give you a bowl of rice. If you were to go over to China or one of these countries and watch the amount of labor that goes into having a rice paddy, even for more so, the amount of water that's required to produce a bowl of rice, in the real market, that bowl of rice might cost you, that bowl of rice might cost you $30, $40. But because of our market system, we get it here and you can get it, not only a bowl of rice, you can get it dry rice, Uncle Ben's, Zatarant, whatever, you can get that rice for $2. But the labor cost over there does not translate to our cost over here. And so it's been for quite a long time. Think about this. Imagine you were a Native American and you were watching buffalo graze. And the Native American tradition was to follow the food. And then one day you see a white man there who goes, "What are you doing on my land?" The confusion of the Native American is we don't engage in possessive. This is all our land. And that white man goes, "Well, I have a fence." And for him, that engages, I own this property. And to be into a situation to, I want to say, get goods, the Native Americans has to enter into almost like fiat currency. You have to enter into things that you're not comfortable with. And it's going to be, of course, it's going to be, I want to say, what's the word I'm looking for? Don't worry about it. But it's unfair practices. It's unfair practices based on the fact that I have information that will allow me to control this economy. And that's the way it's been for a long time until the last couple of years, Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. I am about to embark on a project that is not just a project about engaging the cryptocurrency market. It's a little bit more. I want to see if I can democratize aspects of Muslim entertainment and Muslim art. You see, for me, as a Muslim entertainer and other Muslim artists, we've had for so long had to walk a tightrope. There wasn't enough work in the Muslim community for our art, so we have to go over here to the non-Muslim community and kind of deal with those terms. Knowing going over here, they're not going to fully appreciate our art, but staying here, they're not going to fully support our art. It's a bad conundrum. But now, you now have a digital currency market that will allow artists to value their own work, to put it in the marketplace, to have strategies or leverages of scarcity, of positioning, of to place something in a digital asset. And the digital asset I'm talking about right now is called NFTs, or non-fungible tokens, which operate as currency within a closed system. You now, brothers and sisters, have a situation and scenario where we can democratize Muslim lifestyle, Muslim entertainment, and Muslim industry. Samir said, "Yeah, that's the scope of the Muslim artist. Damned if you do, and damned if you don't." Well, it's a little bit better here, Samir. Damn it, I'm going to do it, and damn, I'm going to do it more. I am going to engage this process, and I'm encouraging people. I'm encouraging all of us to look hard at cryptocurrency, to look hard at the concept. Hear me now. The concept of cryptocurrency. I've been in this space before. When I wanted to do comedy for Muslims, people told me I couldn't do it. And I said, why? And all the reasons they gave me outside of, these, abstract hadiths and stuff like that, was they only saw comedy through the value system of Hollywood. They had never seen someone in Hollywood hold on to their Islamic beliefs and be able to still be successful. Well, I'm here to tell you, myself and a couple of brothers proved them wrong. at least for a little bit. And here we are, brothers and sisters, with these NFTs and this cryptocurrency having an opportunity to do something we've never done before, which is get into a space where our art, digital art, they even have in the cryptocurrency market, they have crypto virtual worlds, brothers and sisters. They have houses. They have people who are virtual real estate agents. Now I'm gonna say this to be very careful. I'm a little reluctant with that, but I remember several years ago, a good friend of mine told me about this thing called Second Life. I was talking to Sister Satana about it. He introduced me to this idea called Second Life. And in Second Life in the virtual world, you could be whoever you want it to be. You have an avatar. You can be, if you were black, you could be white. If you were straight, you could be gay. You could be whatever you wanted to in this virtual world. If you didn't drink in real life, your avatar could be an alcoholic. You could play with it all as much as you want to. And it was scary. Because in this space, the virtual space, they call it virtual reality. It's really, you're virtually removing yourself from reality. You are putting yourself in a situation or a position whereby, and it's scary, you can be who you are not. Now, that said, moving out to the side, this cryptocurrency is something where it can democratize not only finances, social mobility, but it can democratize education on how people look at things and assess value. This is, brothers and sisters, mind-blowing. Inshallah, in a couple of weeks, you're going to hear something from Preacher Moss. And it's going to be something about, I'm going to be in the crypto art market. And I'm going to make a spiel, and you're going to hear me say these things. That the Muslim artist and Muslim entertainer has been vastly undervalued because we've been forced to go to markets that are not welcome to us. Now you have a space, brothers and sisters. Now we have a situation scenario where we can not only, hear me now, not only frame our value, we can figure out the currency to protect it. Did you hear what I'm saying? The currency to protect it. I'm saying it right now. I hope some brother or sister says, you know what? The top 100 Bitcoins are this. One of them, two of them, three of them should be about Muslim lifestyle, Muslim preservation of religion, and Muslim preservation of youth. And can you imagine that we invest in that coin, that token for Muslim youth and education and protecting of youth? It starts out at $50, but people start trading that coin, and it goes from $50 to $500. And you take that money, maybe that $50, you take half of it and you invest it in the community. You're still making money. Why? Because the value of the coin keeps increasing. And on top of that, what are you talking about? You're talking about increasing scarcity. You are protecting, through a digital asset, for lack of a better word, you're protecting or having a space whereby you're looking forward. What you got for me, Samir? Yes, I did read about NBA Top Shot. They are an example of NFT trading. Yeah, they were selling dunks. As a matter of fact, I think a dunk for LeBron James went for $208,000. Now, people, this do you understand what I'm saying? Samir hit it right on the head. Do you understand what I'm saying? People create value. What is StreamYard? What is the internet? What is email? It says that God created the earth and you can't do anything about it. You can't add any more leaves. You can't add any more land. How much land is here? And the human being innovates in such a way where they go, well, let me create alternative existence. And so we all have email addresses. Remember we had regular addresses? Now I got email addresses. I believe there are more email addresses than regular addresses, brothers and sisters. And this thing I talked about, Second Life, to the point where people, it was very popular. That people populated this thing with avatars and being a way to get away from who they are or where they were, or if you were broke, you could be rich. If you were rich, you could be broke. I mean, it's a crazy thing. It's a crazy thing. My mentor, Harry Weber, God bless him. Years ago, before there was cryptocurrency, he's a genius, ad guy. He's a genius ad guy. Years ago, he had an idea for a clothing line. The clothing line was called Crisis in Capitalism. Again, it was called Crisis in Capitalism. Why is that important? Because I love the title, Crisis in Capitalism, or CIC, or SICK. He knew how to brand. But the idea was built on developing clothing that had scarcity to it. Instead of producing 1 million t-shirts, he said, no, we produce 1,500 t-shirts. And in the corner of each t-shirt, we put a number. They have a registration number. So 0001, 0002, 0003, and so on till you got the 1,500. It's saying you price these shirts at a premium, and what happens is after you get the 1,500 shirts, you can't get any more. And they're the first iteration of the shirts. And he said when you go to the second iteration, people will buy it, but they really want the first iteration. They want to be a part of that first 1,500. Brothers and sisters, this is the point in time that we are going to do this. Inshallah, Allah willing, I'm willing to lead with my art in this crypto art market. And I want to show all of us, lead the way. I want to lead the way. I want to set the example that we, as a collective community, Black, Muslim, all across the board, that there is something to democratizing our opportunities to have wealth, our opportunities to develop communities based on the fact that we now have available capital. And finally, to do to other people what they've been doing to us. I've been waiting for years to be able to say to somebody, let me tell you not only what the cost of that is, but let me tell you what the value is. Think about that. Ronald Foster, what's going on, my brother? Good to see you. Assalamu alaikum. All right. Samir, what you got for me? One of the precursors to NFTs was video games. Yep. Now you can play the exact game on a computer, whereas you had to go to the arcade. Yeah. It was convenience, but it was scarcity. Think about this when you were a kid. Who was the most popular kid in your neighborhood when you were growing up? The kid that had the video game. The kid that had the Atari. The kid that had the, I can't even tell him, PS something. That kid was the most popular kid in the neighborhood. Now, I had a friend of mine. He had an Atari. But he was smart. And he would tell everybody about the Atari and all the games that we could play. And we could do this and we could have tournaments and da-da-da-da-da. However, to play that game, you had to pay a fee. And it was $1, and you could only play for an hour. And cats were so involved in the games and trying to win in the competition, you might have dropped $10 in that joint and not even noticed. Well, we're in the same space. And I would reference that Native American whose family followed the buffalo for food, who one day found a white man with a fence going, "What are you doing on my land?" And that guy goes, "I don't care what you're doing on your land. I got a digital asset for it that's worth more than the land itself. Think about that, brothers and sisters. Think about that. A digital asset with a smart contract. Hear me now. With a smart contract that says this is how it's owned. It traces every trade that's made with this digital asset. You can even put in a smart contract that you get a percentage of each trade. Do I sound excited? Yeah. Because I know that a stimulus check is not going to turn the game around for people who have been suffering for years. It's not a game changer. This, brothers and sisters, this is a game changer. Hear me now. This is a game changer. And why would I say that? Let me give a shout out to brother Eric. Wa alaikum assalam rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brother Eric, thank you so much for coming on the show. Man, I'm counting on you, brother Eric, and brother Samir. We're going to do the Preacher Moss Ramadan 30 for 30 this year. You better be on. I better see some stuff here. But my point is, brothers and sisters, when Bitcoin came out in 2000, really around the last housing crisis, around the time Barack Obama took office, we were so worried about the physical asset, the house, the car, the house, the car, the clothes, the things like that. And we were so consumed with the cost of stuff, we took our eye off the prize in terms of the value. The value. I know people who say it costs too much to have a house. They literally went into the bank, threw the keys in the ashtray and said, I don't want it no more. Not understanding that the value of that house, if you could hold on to it. Because it's interesting when you get into a value conversation, people change their tone. People will work with you because they realize that you understand the value of the asset. They realize they don't really own the asset. Or if it had to be a situation, they realize that the asset is only valuable when you're paying on it. If I plop the keys down there, you got a house that you haven't planned on. Thank you, banks. Thank you, collateralized debt obligations or whatever it was, the CDOs. But my point is, and I want to say this because I know we're moving up on time. Who's with me? If you had a chance to strike, to say, you know what, I'm down. And we ain't talking about 1 million people. Because Bitcoin wasn't 1 million people. We ain't talking 1 million people. If you had a chance to strike and say, you know what, I can finally get on the ground floor of something, and it's not going to cost me $100,000 or $20,000. I can get on the ground floor and say maybe it costs me $25, $30, maybe $200. But the residual is I own this digital asset, and I know due to scarcity, that digital asset is going to grow in value. You know, I wish that when Apple came out, I had $150 to buy some Apple stock. Look at Apple now. I'm on an Apple computer with an Apple phone. And everybody is making money off of me. The computer I had to buy, the Wi-Fi I have to use, the phone service I have to operate the phone. Everybody making money except for me. And I can sit up and go, I'm going to cut off your phone. Well, who's going to call you? Everybody's on cell phones. We're addicted to that type of technology. So I'm saying, and let me get this up here, the virtual asset, if there's a physical equivalent that can drive the physical equivalent, yeah. But you can't trade the physical equivalent the way you would do a digital asset or virtual asset, because that virtual asset has a market. You have to go find a market for the physical asset. So listen, I'm gonna bounce. I hope everybody enjoyed that. Let's get our banner up for our sponsor, BeFinanciallyIndependent.com. Again, that's BeFinanciallyIndependent.com. Want to give a shout out to Miss Maxine Cade. Listen, if you don't want to go to the website, again, go to just call 1-800 1-800-679-3175. Again, that's 1-800-679-3175. Again, I think Miss K might be in the crypto market game here in a minute, because I'm excited. I hope you're excited. I like this whole idea of NFTs, the tokens. Think about it. A Bitcoin and a token. Just the language. They're segmentating this whole idea of democratizing currency. And in that space of democratizing currency, there's opportunity. There's potential. So listen, like I said, call 1-800-679-3175. And you can talk to Miss Cade, who is the Harriet Tubman of financial freedom, trying to get you out of the slavery of debt, brothers and sisters. She's going to tell you the difference between what something costs and the value of something. Think about that Native American, brothers and sisters. Think about them. So, I got to bounce. I got to roll out. You guys have been great. Appreciate you. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. Have big news coming. Outside of just doing the Ramadan 30 for 30. This year we're going to have guests, musical guests. I'm going to have nasheeds. We're going to make this portal, this platform, really hum this year. So I hope you guys are looking forward to Ramadan like I am. God bless you. Talk to you soon. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Satana, take. Hey everybody, this is your brother Preacher Moss. Listen, I hope that you enjoyed your shout out show experience. We'll be back with the next show, the next shout out show. A simple ask before you go, please help your brother out. Click that subscribe button, click that notify button, and I'll see you again on this side of the microphone. You probably wonder what that smell is. That's me. I smell good. And the reason I smell good is because I use oils from Tarif Attar. So I'm not saying you can't smell good. I'm not even saying you stink. I'm saying you have the opportunity to smell exquisite. Check out tarifattar.com for some of the best oils and scents in town.